Hi second graders, welcome to our chapter 15 review. Today we're going to review all the lessons of chapter 15 and prepare for our checkup that we have scheduled for Thursday. So let's get into it. But wait a minute, it's not that easy. This is a lot of work. So I say, I hope you agree with me, that before we get started, we should put this into God's hands. Why don't we read this verse and so we can feel stronger and feel like we can do this. Okay. God says in the Second Chronicles 15:7, he tells us to be strong, to not give up, for your work will be rewarded. So how do you feel now? Do you feel a little better? I do. I think we can do this because God promises us that all this hard work will be rewarded. So I know at the end, during our checkup, we'll do so much better if we do this review. Okay, second graders, so let's do it. So for this chapter 15, the skills that you've learned and that you know already are that you know how to skip count. You know how to skip count by 3 and by 4. You know how to use that paper to get to the answer. And you also know how to recite table of 3 and table of 4 by memory. Now, I'm going to play the songs for you of table 3 and table 4, but if you don't need it because you're so good at it, then you can just forward the video.
Hi agents! Knowing your 3 times table is very useful. Get ready to start with 1 times 3 is 3. Here we go. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21. 8 times 3 is 24. 9 times 3 is 27. 10 times 3 is 30.
More! It's time for 4! 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 11 is 44. 4 times 12 is 48. Count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48.
So, are you ready now to get a star for every skill that you learned? Okay, the first star goes for that we learned how to read a dot paper. So let's show it off. So we know that dot paper has groups and how many in each. Okay, the groups are the columns and how many in each are the rows. Okay, so here I can tell the first what I read is the groups. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to put 7 multiplied by, the next number that I'm going to write is the number of rows. And I have 4 rows. So I'm going to put 7 multiplied by 4 equals to 28. Great. Now I'm going to look at this other dot paper. Here I can see again that I'm going to begin counting with the groups. And I can see here that I have 4 groups. Count carefully, okay? Don't count fast because you could also make a mistake here if you miscount. And now the second number that goes here is the number in each group. So let's see how many we have in each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 multiplied by 7, and I can see I have a combination that is related multiplication, right? So we're going to put again 28 because they are related, okay? We only switch the numbers in the multiplication sentence, their position, but the answer is still the same. So 7 multiplied by 4 and 4 multiplied by 7 is 28. Okay, now let's look at the next problem we have here, next dot paper, just for a little bit more practice. Again, we're going to begin counting the groups. So I'm going to count them carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's put the 9. And then we're going to multiply by, again, the number of how many we have in each. So we're going to put here 4. 9 multiplied by 4 is 36. Excellent. Now, one last dot paper to look at. Again, let's carefully look at the group. So we're going to count the ones in columns. I see 4 multiplied by, again, carefully, let's count how many we have in each. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did you see how I skip counted by 2? Yep, you can do the same, or you can do by 3, whatever you prefer. And again, it's 9, so 4 multiplied by 9, another related multiplication sentence. We're going to put again the same answer, just because I know that this is related multiplication sentence, related multiplication fact. So 9 multiplied by 4 and 4 multiplied by 9 is 36. Great. You see, at the same time, we reviewed also related multiplication facts. Nice. Okay, so let's see what other star we can get. Let's see what star are we getting this time. Okay, we also learned, so second star goes for that we learn how to write multiplication sentences and related division sentences. Great. So we already know that 8 multiplied by 3 is 24. And so 3 multiplied by 8 is 24. Also, we know that 7 multiplied by 4 is 28. And so 4 multiplied by 7 is 28. Okay, these are the related multiplication sentences. Great. Now, how does it work with the division? I know for division, the rule number 1 is that the first number that I put is the number in all. It's the big number. Okay, the answer in a multiplication sentence will be the first number that I will put in division sentence. Great. So as you can see here, since 3 multiplied by 8 is 24, I can say that 24 divided by 3 is 8. And also 24 divided by 8 is 3. Okay? And the same applies to this multiplication sentence. If I say that 4 multiplied by 7 is 28, so for division, I would say that 28 divided by 4 equals to 7. Or 28 divided by 7 equals to 4. Okay, so this is what we need to also keep in mind. And we already got a star for that because we already know, we learned how to write division sentences. Okay, let's see what the next star will be for what skill. The next star goes to us for that we learn how to use the multiplication fact that you know to solve the unknown multiplication facts. Wow, so remember this one? I know this one I talked to you about that when we have to solve the problem 8 multiplied by 4. This is the problem that they want us to solve. What is 8 multiplied by 4? And we have here another problem. They want us to solve these 3 problems. Great, let's do it. We can do this. Okay, so now when you come to this lesson or exercise you have in your checkup, I'm going to remind you the tip that we use in here. The tip here is that remember to use these best friends. So I'm going to always remember that in order to solve 8 multiplied by 4, my best friends I'm going to choose for this problem will be what? 5 multiplied by 4 or 10 multiplied by 4? So let's look at the number line. If I need to solve 8 multiplied by 4, let's find number 8 on the number line. Is it closer to 10 or is it closer to 5? Yeah, it's closer to 10. So since it's closer to 10, that's why I'm going to choose 10 groups of 4 to help me to solve this unknown multiplication fact. So 10 groups of 4, which is 40, right? Minus, how many groups of 4 do I have to take away to have only 8? That's correct. We're going to have to take 2 groups of 4. So again, 10 groups of 4 give us, what's 10 groups of 4? That means 10 multiplied by 4. That's going to give us 40. And here we already have it answered, but if we would not have a number here, we would know that 2 groups of 4 are 8. That's why the number here is 8. So again, 40 minus 8. Now we're going to count back, and I know that the answer will be 32. Now I have to check. 8 multiplied by 4 is 32. That's correct. Okay? So, and the best friend that we used for this was the 10 multiplied by 4. That is the fact that helped us to solve this problem. Now let's see what fact that you know you will use for 7 multiplied by 4? Let's see. What would you use? 7. Number 7. Look at number 7 on the number line. Let's erase this one so it doesn't confuse us. Okay, let's see number 7. Okay, they want us to solve this 7 multiplied by 4. Now I know the best buddies I can choose for this problem is either 5 multiplied by 4 or 10 multiplied by 4. And I can tell that 7 is closer to 5. So I'm going to go with this buddy. So here I'm not going to write the groups because they don't want me to write the groups. They only want me to write straight the number that is the 5 groups of 4. So I'm going to write here the number already that I know the 5 groups of 4 is 20. 5 groups of 4 is 20. So 20 plus 8 is 28. And if you would have to break it up, you would have to say here 5 groups of 4 plus 2 groups of 4, right? Would get you to the answer of 7 times 4. And the answer here has to be what the 7 multiplied by 4 is 28. Just like here, 8 multiplied by 4 is 32. So here the number that you write here, this number, must be the number, the answer for this. Okay? So again, let's do one for, let's erase some of this here so I don't confuse you. So 9 multiplied by 4, I have to solve. Again, I'm going to look at the number line. If you don't need to, you don't have to, but just picture in your mind, what would be 9 multiplied by 4 closer to? Would it be to 5 multiplied by 4 or to 10 multiplied by 4? Well, I would use the best buddy, 10 multiplied by 4. So let's say 10 groups of 4 is 40. 40 minus 4 equals to 36. Excellent. And the 4 represents the one group of 4. Okay, if I would have to again break it up. Okay, but here is they just skipped a step, as you notice. They only wrote here this step and they skipped this one. That's why it looks different. Excellent. So again, if you have to solve a problem that you don't know, you would use these best friends. You might use this one if it's a table of 3, if you have a multiplication fact of table of 3. Or if you have it like we have it here of table of 4, then you would use these two best friends, depending on which one is it closer to. Okay, and then you would either subtract or add depending. Awesome. So that's the star we got for this, that we know how to use the facts that we already know to solve the ones we don't know. Let's see if we're getting another star for any other skill. I mean, what did we learn in this chapter? Let's see if we are getting any star at all. Oh, sure we are. We are getting a star for how to solve multiplication and division word problems. This one is a tough one, I think, because we have to read and we have to think and we have to decide if we're going to do multiplication or division. So yeah, I know it's a few steps that we have to take to get to the right answer. So let's see how we do this. First, we're going to read the problem carefully. There are 8 tables in the classroom. Each table has 4 chairs. How many chairs are there in all? Now, I'm going to read that one more time. There are 8 tables in the classroom. Each table has 4 chairs. How many chairs are there in all? I'm picturing that in my mind. And I'm going to see if there's any keyword, because I know there's always some keywords helping me to decide what to do. So let me get my marker and let's highlight the keywords in the sentence. And I can see that here in the question, in the sentence, the last sentence, I have in all. They're asking me how many I have in all. And I know that if that's the keyword in my problem, it's telling me to multiply. That's correct. We're going to multiply to find out how many we have in all. And again, we're going to use the numbers we have in the problem. We're not going to invent any other numbers. We're going to use the ones that are given to us. 8 multiplied by 4 equals to 32. Great job. Now, you have to remember to always put that answer into your sentence. So, and you read that to yourself. There are 32 chairs in all. It's very important that you don't just fill it in and you don't read the answer, because guess what? What if you would decide to do division in this problem? And you would say 8 divided by 4 equals 2. Now, then you're going to put that in your answer. There are 2 chairs in all. Does that possibly make sense? You'll be like, there's no way. They said there are 8 tables, and each has 4 chairs. So how could there be 2 chairs? I mean, that doesn't make sense. So that's why it's very important that you read the sentence, the answer in the sentence, to yourself, and then you listen to what you're saying, and then you might have to go back and do it again. Okay, let's try one more problem. This one talks about Miss Rosalina divides 40 pieces of paper equally between her students. She has 10 students. How many pieces of paper does each student get? Again, I'm going to think it, right? Reread it if I need to. And I'm going to look for some keywords. Now here it's telling me already that she's dividing 40 pieces of paper. So it's really clear to me that I have to divide in my sentence. So 40 divided by 20 equals 2. Now careful, we cannot put 20 divided by 40, right? We have to put the big number first. Divided by 20 equals 2. Now we're going to write the sentence with the answer in it. Each student gets 2 pieces of paper. Well, I'm afraid this is our last star for today's chapter. But do you want to know how many you earned? Well, second graders, congratulations. You earned yourself 4 stars. That means you learned 4 great skills in chapter 15. That's a blessing. I am so proud of you. Good job, everyone. And if you do have, congratulations. I'm sure you're jumping up by the computer and happy that this is how many skills you've learned. And I am so proud of you. I will see you in the next video. In the next video, I'm going to review with you and take you through the study guide. So thank you for paying attention. Bye, everyone, and see you in the next video where we're going to complete the pages of study guide. Bye. Bye, second graders.